I found the best way to build a fully original AI character that talks on camera, mirrors real human movement, and exists inside a 3D world you also built from scratch. I've been using this exact process for my own creative projects, and the level of consistency and quality I'm getting now compared to where I started is completely different. So in this video, you'll have gone through the entire process yourself, from creating the character to directing her inside a generated environment, and you'll have a workflow you can repeat for any project going forward. The tool I'll be using for everything today is called OpenArt. When you log in, you'll see all your options on the homepage. You've got story, video, image, character, world, and audio. Each one is its own full workflow, and today we're going to be moving between a few of them. But the main one we'll focus on is character, so go ahead and click that. Once you're inside, you'll see 3 different ways to build a character. Each one serves a different purpose, so I want to walk you through all 3 so you know exactly which one to use and when. The first option I want to try is called Describe Your Character. You type out a description of who you want your character to be, and the AI interprets it and builds her from that alone. The reason this method is actually useful is speed. If you have a rough idea in your head and you just want to explore quickly without using a lot of credits, this is the fastest way to get a visual starting point without any prep work. You don't need an image, you don't need to go through a setup process, you just write and generate. The trade-off is that you're giving the AI a lot of creative freedom, which means the result might be close to what you imagined, but not exact. I'm going to paste in my prompt. You can also select your model and the style you want. For the model, select Nano Banana Pro. This is one of the best models for realism, which is very important when it comes to maintaining consistency. You can also select a specific style, which is something most people skip. I'll select photorealistic for our character, but there are also options like 3D, anime, Pixar, and generally lots of variety, so you can create a character in any style you need. Hit generate, and within a few seconds, you'll get a set of character previews to choose from. For a pure text prompt with no image reference, these are impressive. The features are consistent across the previews and the style reads clearly. If I were just exploring a concept, I'd be happy with this as a starting point. And you can do all of this inside OpenArt, which is an all-in-one AI platform. So instead of switching between 5 different apps to do what I just showed you, everything lives in one place. I've left the link in the description if you want to follow along, but if you already have a specific look in mind and you want the AI to match it more precisely, the next method is going to serve you a lot better, and I'll show you exactly how to set it up. There is a whole different level to this that adds a huge layer of control. This one is called Start from an Image, and the name tells you exactly what it does. Instead of describing your character, you give the AI a real visual reference, and it builds the character directly from that. The reason this method is so valuable is accuracy. When the AI has an actual image to work from, it can lock in specific features like the exact shape of the face, the hair color, or anything you specifically want them to have, in a way that a text description alone just cannot guarantee. If you're building a character for a long-term project, a series, a brand, anything where consistency really matters, starting from an image is going to save you a lot of time and a lot of wasted generations down the line. However, you need a really good image to get those results. And the cleanest approach is to generate one yourself right inside OpenArt, so you have full control over the look before the character creation even begins. Here's how to do it. Go back to the OpenArt homepage and click on Image, then select Create Image. Once you're inside the image generator, click the model selector and choose Nano Banana 2. Now write your prompt. Be specific here and explain everything you want, because the detail you put in now is going to carry through into your character later. Also, before you generate, turn on auto polish. What this does is automatically refine your prompt and fill in details that improve the output quality. It takes 2 seconds to turn on, and it genuinely makes a difference in the result, so just leave it on. You can also choose the output and aspect ratio. With Nano Banana 2, you can go up to 4K. I'll select that because we want the cleanest possible image for our consistent character. Let's generate. The image came back clean, and she looks exactly like I described. That's exactly the kind of image you want to bring into the character builder. Now take that image and head back to the Character tab. This time, click Start from an Image. Upload the image we just generated. You'll see a field for your character's name. I'm going to call her Lyra. Below that, there's a field for a background story. This is optional, but I always fill it in because the more context you give the AI about who this character is, the more intentional and consistent the results will be when you start generating scenes with her later. It gives the AI something to work with beyond just the visual. Here's what I'm writing for Lyra. Hit create, and OpenArt will process the image and build Lyra as a fully trained character. But there's a third method that I personally keep coming back to, and it's the one I want to show you next. This next one is my personal favorite right now, and once you see how it works, I think you'll understand why. It's called Build Your Character, and it's the most structured of the three methods. Instead of writing a prompt or sourcing an image, you're making a series of deliberate choices that guide the AI step by step toward exactly the character you want. What makes this method useful is that it gives you maximum control while removing as much of the guesswork that the AI does as possible. This is the method that makes character creation feel the most intentional from start to finish. When you click Build Your Character, the first thing you'll choose is the look vibe. This is the overall aesthetic of your character, and your options include things like casual, street, fashion, dystopian, vintage glam, and more. I'm going with fashion for this one, but you should experiment with these. Next, you select the gender. I'm choosing female. Then comes ethnicity. I'm going to go with East Asian for this character. After that, you pick the age range, which gives you a range from teen all the way to senior. I'm selecting young adult. Now here's the part that really elevates this method: the additional description field. This is optional, but I genuinely recommend using it every single time. This is where you add the specific details that make your character feel like a real, distinct person rather than a preset. Think of the structured choices as the foundation and this field as everything that makes her unique. I'll paste in this prompt and generate. You'll get a set of preview options. Take a moment to look through them and pick the one that feels most like the character you had in mind. I'm gonna go with this one right here and call her May. And just like that, she is ready. What I keep coming back to with this method is that the combination of structured choices and a custom description consistently gives me strong results on the first or second generation. I'm not spending credits on multiple attempts trying to get the prompt right. I'm making clear choices, adding my own detail, and the AI has everything it needs to deliver something that actually looks intentional. One thing worth knowing is that once your character is saved, she lives inside your OpenArt account permanently. Now that we have a character, I want to show you what you can actually do with her, because this is where the workflow opens up in a way most people don't expect. Once you've built your character, OpenArt gives you options within the Character tab: Talking Video and Motion Sync. I want to show you both of these because they serve very different purposes, and together they cover most of what you'd ever want to do with an AI character in a video context. Because the whole point of building a consistent character inside a system like this is that she can keep showing up in different scenes doing different things and still look like herself every single time. These two features are what make that possible. Let's start with Talking Video. Click on Talking Video and you'll be prompted to select your character. I'm choosing May. Now you write a prompt describing what you want her to say or do in the video. This is where you get to direct the scene, so be specific about the setting, the energy, and what she's doing. Here's what I'm writing. What comes back is a video of May actually talking.
Hey there, my name is May, and I've been in the fashion industry ever since I picked up my grandmother's sewing machine.
The lip movement is synced, the expression is natural, and the whole thing looks like it came out of a proper production setup. If you're building a brand around a character, creating content for a fictional persona, or just want a face to represent something without filming yourself, this is the feature that makes it real. Now let's look at Motion Sync, because this one works completely differently, and it's honestly one of my favorite things in this entire platform. The idea is simple. You find an existing video of a real person, whether they're walking, dancing, gesturing, anything, and Motion Sync transfers those exact movements onto your AI character. I found a short clip of someone doing a slow, confident runway-style walk. Let's put May in it. Click Motion Sync, select May as your character, and upload the reference video. OpenArt analyzes the movement in the clip and maps it directly onto May's body. The movement is natural and looks exactly like the original, but May has completely replaced the previous character, and she looks consistent across all of it. If you're creating content at scale and you need your character to feel alive and dynamic across different formats, Motion Sync is the feature that gets you there without any filming or any complicated setup. But there's one more feature that's unique to OpenArt, and it's what ties the whole workflow together. We've built May, we've made her talk, and we've made her move. Now let's place her in an entire 3D 3D world. Go back to the OpenArt homepage and click on Worlds. This feature lets you build a fully rendered 3D environment from your own images and then place your character inside it. The reason this matters is that it takes your character from being a generated image or a video clip and turns her into something that feels like part of a real, cohesive, creative world that allows you to create unlimited content. If you're building a series, a brand, a story, or any kind of ongoing content around a character, having a consistent world for her to exist in is what makes everything feel connected and intentional. Click Create 3D World. You'll be prompted to upload up to 4 images. These are the visual references OpenArt uses to construct the environment. I already generated these earlier using the image workflow I showed you. There are 4 shots of the same location from different angles and lighting conditions. Upload all 4 and hit Create World. What comes back is a fully rendered 3D environment. You can move through it, and it's an actual world with dimension and atmosphere. Once your world is ready, you get 2 ways to use it. The first is 3D World Cam, and the second is Cast in Scene. Let me show you both. Click on 3D World Cam or hit enter right here. You'll be asked to either select a world you've already built or pick one of OpenArt's pre-made environments. I'm using the rooftop we just created. Once you're inside, you can actually navigate through the scene in real time. Just by moving your mouse, you can look in any direction. It feels like you're standing inside the environment, which is a genuinely different experience from just looking at a generated image. You also get to choose the focal length of the shot, anywhere from 23mm all the way to 300mm. Think of this like choosing your lens. A wider focal length, like 23mm, gives you a broader, more environmental shot, where the world around May feels expansive and cinematic. A longer focal length, like 100mm or 200mm, compresses the scene and brings May closer to the frame, which works better for portraits or more intimate shots where the focus is on her rather than the surroundings. It's essentially the same logic as real camera lenses, so choose based on what kind of shot you're going for. Once you're happy with the angle and the focal length, hit Take Shot. What this does is capture a still image from inside your environment with your character placed exactly where you positioned her. It's a really precise way to art direct a specific frame rather than just generating and hoping the composition lands. Now for Cast in Scene. The way this works is you tag your character the same way with the @ symbol. Describe what you want her doing in the scene and select your focal length. The difference is that Cast in Scene is more generative and less controlled. You're giving the AI creative direction and it interprets the scene for you, whereas 3D World Cam puts the framing entirely in your hands. So if you want precise control over the exact angle and composition, use 3D World Cam. If you want to describe a moment and let the AI build the frame around it, Cast in Scene is the faster option. I'm going to use Cast in Scene for this one and paste in my prompt. Make sure Auto Enhance Shot is turned on just below the prompt box. This refines the generation automatically and adds a layer of cinematic quality to the output, so just leave it on. Let's generate. May is now in a completely different setting, and she's stayed consistent in every single generation we've put her in, all thanks to one important piece of this workflow, which is OpenArt. And with OpenArt, you get every single tool you need to build a consistent character with her own look, voice, movement, and her own world, and it's all under only one subscription. So if you want to start building your own character today, the link for OpenArt is in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.